Hi everybody, Stephan Kesting from GrappleArts.com here. Today I want to show you the Omoplata and then a couple really cool variations that I've started playing with recently, and they're not my variations. The Omoplata is one of my favorite moves. I use it in a ton of positions, but there are two other moves that have come out, the Baratoplata and the Marceloplata, and I'm going to show you my interpretation of them. To be fair, they're not my techniques, like I said. You should go check out Rafael Barato's instructional stuff on the Baratoplata and check out Marcelo Garcia's stuff on the Marceloplata, although he doesn't call it that. And then you'll be learning it from the source. But for now I've got your attention. Let me show you my interpretations of these three moves. Now, the Omoplata, basically anytime I'm in the guard, you can apply it from the top or the bottom, and I'll do it real quick from both. The guy's arm is outside your hip. You have the option to do the Omoplata. You're going to bring your knee up and pinch his shoulder, hold this tight, bring your foot over the guy's head, and then turn. You see how my feet are aligned with Richie's head, and my head is aligned with Richie's feet. I sit up. Now there's variations here, and we're not going to go into every single variation. I'll post a link to the bottom at the bottom to a video I did just on the Omoplata. In this example, I'm using crossed ankles here. I'm breaking Richie's posture forward. Maybe I'm going to move sideways a bit, flatten him out, swing my feet to the side, and now I can finish it by sitting up here very carefully. You have to be careful here. Just stay there, please, Richie. What I'm doing is using my legs to apply a kimura, also known as a chicken wing, also known as a hammerlock, also known as urigarami in judo. Thank you. And the thing about all these bent arm locks is the pain and the damage are pretty close together. It hurts and then pop it goes. It's not like an arm bar where it hurts worse, it really, really hurts, then pop, pop, pop. The shoulder, you don't feel anything, it hurts, it pops. So, and especially because you're using your legs, you might not be as sensitive to your opponent's wriggles, and as he moves, he could hurt himself. So just go slow with all of these, especially the next two variations. So that's the Omoplata. And let me do it from mount here, please, Richie, lie down. Just turn here. Like I said, you can do the Omoplata from a million different positions. We did it from the bottom. We can do it from the top. I notice that Richie's arm is around my waist. I'm gonna move my knee up here. This should look familiar. He's hugging my waist, and I'm forcing it to stay here with my arm, with my knee. I'm kind of, it's like an elbow-knee attack. The elbow and the knee are glued together. I'm going to come up here, and I'm hugging the arm, I'm controlling the shoulder. I push the head to the ground. Now I'm going to swing my leg over his head and fall back. Then we go here. Once again, my feet are crossed. Some people like to do it open. Some people like to do it triangle. It's up to you. I sit up. I move my feet to the side. Now I bring his hand up towards his head by lifting my hips off the ground. So that's the Omoplata. The Marceloplata, we'll start out from guard again, is kind of a solution to a very common problem. We're here, I'm coming with the knee, I'm pinching his shoulder, I'm bringing my foot over his head, but Richie gets it in his head that if he can stop this leg from coming out by hugging it, I can't apply the Omoplata. And he's right, I can't apply the Omoplata. This is where the Marceloplata comes in. I'm gonna bring my foot across his face, just like we did before. And now, very, very, very carefully, I'm gonna come up to my knees. Stay flat, please, Richie. Mm-hmm. You can tap somebody out here, and you can also hurt somebody here by basically coming up to your knees with, come up please, this bottom foot still trapped. No problem, it's trapped. This used to bother me a lot since I learned this variation. He wants to keep that foot, fill your boots. It doesn't matter because I've got this attack here. Now, most of the time, the guy's gonna put his head away and he's gonna somersault as I'm coming up here. I'm gonna follow him. Foot over the face, leg over the body. I'm gonna control his elbow with my hand, and I'm gonna very gently scoot my hips. Let me show that without. I'm here, foot's over the face, hands controlling the elbow, and I'm going to scoop my hips like that. That's all it takes. Tiny little motion. We'll just do it one more time from a slightly different angle, please, Richie. From over here, his hands in the bad position. I bring my foot all the way over. He's got this leg trapped. He doesn't want to let me pull it out. No problem. Control the elbow, come up on my own elbow here, and I begin turning. He rolls. Okay, I follow. Do you see how this foot goes over the face? This hand controls the elbow. It's a tiny little movement here to apply. If he manages to twist this arm, right now it's like this, like that. Now it's thumb up. I can still finish it. It's just an arm bar. Worst case scenario, that arm comes completely free. Arm bar. So that's the Marceloplata from bottom. You can do it from top as well. Head towards the guys, please. So we're here. Same thing. The arm's in this position. There's ways to force that hand into position by coming up. He's here. If I can get my hand underneath here, drive it to the ground, bring my knee up. That's in that around the waist position. I come up, and I'm hugging this arm. Now, you can actually finish him right here with sort of a Kimura, and you'd go for the full figure four grip there. However, that's not what I want to do today. I want to do the Marceloplata. I push the head to the ground, depending how flexible I am. I bring the foot over the head, and then carefully, I sit this way. We're here. Now that little shift of the hips, and it comes on. So, Omoplata, Marceloplata. Let's do the Baratoplata, which is the most recent of these three. It looks a lot like an arm crush, a bicep lock, which is now illegal in most competitions at most levels, but it only looks like that. There's actually no compression in the arm at all. It is a bona fide shoulder lock. We'll show it from guard. Here. Now, in order to do this, I need to take Richie's hand here and bring it between my legs. This is the position it needs to be in. There's a couple of ways that you can get from here to here. Sometimes he does it for you. Let's say I'm going for a triangle choke. Very, very common that a guy hides his arm here and then starts trying to wriggle out, because if that arm's out of there, or if you can create space, I don't have a triangle choke. Another way you can do it is with the reverse Kimura grip. This is sort of the regular Kimura grip here, or the regular figure four. The opposite figure four is when I control his right arm with my hand, and then I come under the arm, and I control my own wrist. This was first shown to me by Ricardo de la Riva. He was a pretty famous guy, but he didn't show me this entry. But the grip came for me anyhow, from Ricardo de la Riva. From here, I basically shove his hand between my legs, which is what I need to finish the lock. So regardless of how the hand got from here to here, here's what you do next. This foot goes on the hip. The other foot, I'm just turning here. So one foot on the hip, other foot on the hip. This hand is buried here. What I do next is bring my foot over the leg. I'm putting it on the wrong side of his head. You sometimes see people trying to armbar like this, and it doesn't work. You're doing that on purpose. So we're here, we forced it between the legs, or we've gone for a triangle choke, and he's buried the arm. The hand comes underneath his arm, his right arm, my left arm. I grab my own thigh, and I put my leg over his head and foot on the hip. Now I'm set up for the so-called Baratoplata. I take my free hand and I hook underneath his leg, just like a basic arm bar. Now I lift my hip up and I move it out to the side. It's hard to see what's going on. I'll do it one more time. We're here. What I'm doing is I'm taking this is cupping my imaginary thigh, and by moving my body, I'm driving his arm behind his back. We'll show it from the mount. So here we are in mount. Normally Richie would have his hands up, be protecting, just so you can see what's going on. His head's gonna be on the ground, and this hand's gonna be out of the picture, but they'd really be there. I'm gonna pin his hand to his chest. My other hand comes underneath his arm. Remember in the guard, I had to get my hand through the crook of his elbow? Same thing. And I'm going to pin them to the chest. Now he's probably thinking, I'm going to try turning him on the side and go for some kind of weird arm bar. So he's going to want to stay flat, which is 100% fine by me. So we're here. I'm going to move my knee up a little bit. Then I'm going to swing this leg over his head. You don't need to be a crazy Gumby or have super duper flexibility or have done yoga for 85 years to pull this off. This is pretty easy. So from here, I cup my thigh. This is again exactly like the guard. And I'm going to control his leg here. Now I dismount. I can't really do it while I'm mounted. I'm going to slide my weight off the side of his body.
Oh, that's awful.
The only difference is I don't have my foot on the hip, I got my foot on the ground, but I'm still taking his arm and putting it like that, just like the Marceloplata, just like the Omoplata. How much compression in the bicep was there compared to shoulder pressure?
There was no bicep compression. It was all shoulder. Yeah, it was all shoulder.
Important safety note about the Baratoplata from top. It comes on so quickly. The guy's there like, what's going on, what's going on? Oh my God, it's gonna hurt. And it might feel like your humerus is gonna break in half. So the responsibility is for the guy on top to be in control, to have the balance so he doesn't like fall off and accidentally apply it, and to keep in mind that the person on the bottom might spaz out and do something really weird and break their own arm. So use control, and maybe only either use this in tournament or against people who you know are gonna be in control and not spazzing out and not freaking out and doing weird things that'll force you to accidentally injure them. So they're all just different ways to use your arms and legs to force the guy's hand behind his back. Omoplata, Marceloplata, Baratoplata, have fun.